We try to do Bridges Live every Monday here on iHeart and iTunes Radio Podcast. You can always catch me on Apple Tunes. You can always email me at drpaulholisticscience.com. Welcome morning and afternoon or evening, anytime you watch this. We learn a lot of things from experiences that we are having or had, right? So, and I've talked about this before with the 3 E's, but what I want to get into specifically today is called compassion. And the question I have is, are you learning things through questions? Are you learning things through answers? And does that make your experiences different? So compassion is a process of action. You do have to practice compassion. You do have to prepare to practice compassion. There is no short definition of what compassion is, but because it's not a perceived action, it's not something that it's a group morality issue, it's not a social norm. Compassion is caring for others or outside yourself, caring for outside yourself for no purpose of reward. That's compassion. Feeling the outside of yourself of what some life is moving in. I'm not going to say going through. I really paused on that because we're all moving through this life of journey. We know that if you start adding words like getting over, going through, and all this stuff, you're making it such a contentious spirit about the actions you are doing. So compassion isn't action, it's a doing. But it's doing for another living item, and all things are living. You know, it's not just compassion for humans, it's compassion for animals, it's compassion for all things, right? All things matter, made of atomic structure. So compassion for outside yourself with no reward, and allowing yourself to feel what it is. That's compassion. That's why it takes practice. You know, if you say to yourself, I cannot see myself in that position, well, that's kindness. You know, you can work on kindness and be like, I can never see myself in that position, but I care for them, right? That's kindness. Compassion is feeling what someone else is feeling, and that takes work. That takes more than work. It takes understanding and separating your own personal feelings for another living structure feelings. So, if you develop a compassion, your brain, now back to the brain science, your brain opens up to more of love. Yeah, that's the marvelous of what the brain does. Because when you are compassionate, you're able to, think of it this way, if you're able to signal and have an open signal to feel for other than yourself, you're widening your receptors, right? So that means your brain is now sparking at a whole different vibrational level for you now to receive love and more heightened of love. That's what compassion does. That's why compassion is so important when we are working on it, because it opens up the pleasure centers of the brain. It opens up different transmitters of the brain. It opens up different body parts to now starting to receive more of oxygen receptors, right? It changes a genetic code structure. Compassion. Kindness does good stuff. We need more kindness. That's definitely true. We need more kindness. Kindness does good stuff. And just being nice. I don't know if nice and kindness are the same. I don't think so. I don't think nice and kindness are the same. I don't have levels of love, but compassion, you either are compassionate or you're not. And you have to work on it. So I want you to take some time out think about what compassion is and how you can practice compassion. If you have any questions, please contact me. But let's try to work it. Can you start off with, let me work on, hey, Dr. Paul, let me work on kindness first, then compassion? Of course, everything has steps to it. I really want you to work on compassion. We are losing our compassionate, and not often people have it. Not often people can see and feel for others. Not because they've experienced the same thing. Not be, they have. I want you to feel for something that you have nothing, completely anything to do with, and I think that's why the separate of humanities has caused us so much damage, because there's no way we can actually put ourselves in that position, and so we can just be like kind, but compassionate feels different. So allow yourself to feel different so you can receive different. Thank you. I hope you have a